sent you a monolith foreign, you do the trust. You reveal the cunning plans of your enemies to us. May your legs shine down like a banner and a shield. On the back who guys are lights obeying the on the field. On board for yours avenge, those sword to the monolith. Blessed with the atoms, their eternal union with the monolith. Bring this to those whose parents are called the monolith.
Hey everyone, Moogie here. And first off, yes, we will be finishing the CVRT someday. I promise. It's just been really hot. Once the weather cools down a little bit, we will get back to making the videos where we fix up this British light tank. And speaking of British, today we have the L85. As usual, these videos do take a lot of time and effort to make, and nothing helps more than sticking around to watch the whole video. So today we have a clone of the British SA80 L85. It's a firearm well loved by the Monolith.
Please don't text me when you're
Защитим монолит! За монолит! Веду бой с противником! Враг в зоне видимости!
Now, this isn't a 100% one-to-one replica, as technically this firearm is built around the Brownell's BRN 180, with a bullpup lower made by our friend Spencer over at Aly and Kaufman. It is called the AKB-48.
We have a hot new song that's from AKB-48.
I mean the AKB-23. However, I can guarantee you it's more reliable than the British SA80. For those unaware, most of our videos are made by two people. Myself on camera and Flandre doing the camera work, music, and editing. But today we will be joined by our friend Donut, and he'll be giving his opinions on the AKB as well, especially compared to other bullpups that are on the market today. But first, we need to talk a little bit about the original L85, so that we can explain what Spencer did to make this gun a reality. The British have had an obsession with bullpup rifles dating back as far as the 1860s. By the turn of the 20th century, they did produce a military bolt-action bullpup. And needless to say, by 1985, the British had finally adopted the SA80 as their primary infantry rifle.
It's a highly reliable, robust, accurate and compact rifle.
が、ジャムる、とことんジャムる、そして割れる。時にはマガジンも勝手に落ちる。
The firearm is designed around the AR-18, and is one of the first AR-18 derivatives, a design that is very popular with modern firearms today. Like the AR-18, the British used a stamped sheet metal receiver, double guide rod, and recoil spring setup, short-stroke gas piston, with the signature 7-lug rotating locking bolt, all in a bullpup lower that allowed the trigger to be forward of the action. Unfortunately for the British, the first generation, the L85A1, was plagued with issues. Fun fact, during the Gulf War, it was found that the L85 infantry rifle was unreliable in semi-auto and functioned slightly better in full auto. Whereas the L86 light machine gun was unreliable in full auto and functioned slightly better in semi-auto, which is the opposite of what you would want. Ultimately, it was H&K who was tasked with fixing them all, as by this point, they had successfully developed and issued their own AR-18 derivative, the G36. The new H&K fixed generation was designated the L85A2, and while they fixed the mechanical issues, the L85 still does have some ergonomic issues. Mainly, the selector of the firearm is on the rear, with only a crossbolt safety near the trigger. The rear controls are small and awkward to get to, and the bolt and charging handle are carried over from the AR-18, and as such are reciprocating near your face. which makes it impossible to shoot left-handed. Despite these issues, this is a gun that I've always wanted thanks to Upote. Spencer decided to base the AKB-48 bullpup lower around Brownell's BRN-180 upper, which incorporates AR-18 derived internals into an AR-15 style upper. This design choice allowed for the creation of a bullpup lower kit that pairs with a reliable, commercially available product, which still utilizes the modern AR-15 lower components. However, unlike the SA80, which uses stamped receiver sections, the BRN-180 upper and the AKB lower is machined aluminum. The way the handguards attach on the AKB is also quite different from the SA80, as it slips over the BRN-180 rails and locks into the M-lock slots. Despite the obvious differences between the two, the AKB without a doubt looks and feels like the SA80 L85A2, and is the first successful project to realize a commercial product on the US market. Maybe some of you all remember the old Preexis kits? I am not aware of anyone being able to fix that disaster of a project. The controls on the AKB are in the same place as the SA80, with a rear selector and a crossbolt safety near the trigger.
It also features the A2 style charging handle and handguards.
It should be noted that we modified our handguards as we are using a 14.5-inch barrel, and the current full-length handguards are designed for the 18.5-inch barrel, and at this time, the carbine handguards are not yet available. The pistol grip is a standard AR-15 grip, so you can swap it to a grip of your choosing. I was going to say I hope that Spencer will make an L85 style grip, and while writing this script, I realized it is an accessory he plans on releasing soon, actually. And in addition to the grip, there is an extended plastic part that covers the gap on the lower, giving the AKB that classic blocky L85 look, which is something I will definitely be adding to mine. It should be noted that the plastic components are MFJ 3D printed and have that powder printed look to them, as well as that slightly rough texture that you find on SLS and MFJ printed parts. I do kind of hope that in the future they move to injected molded plastic parts. In order to make this a bullpup, Spencer added an external trigger linkage from the forward trigger to the AR-15 trigger group. Unlike most bullpup triggers on the market, the AKB trigger has no play whatsoever, and is without a doubt the best bullpup trigger I have felt. There's no take-up travel or any squishy heavy feel to it, and instead it feels exactly like a mil-spec AR-15 trigger. Finally, this firearm weighs like nothing. At exactly 6 pounds dry with the 14.5-inch barrel, the AKB is significantly lighter than other bullpup options on the market, and an 18-inch barrel would only add a few more ounces. In comparison to other modern bullpups like the AUG, the Hellion, and the Tavor X95,
The AKB clocks in at 2 pounds lighter than the competition.
it should be noted that due to how short the AKB lower is, when attached to a BRN 180 upper, with a barrel shorter than 18.5 inches, the firearm actually doesn't meet the overall length requirement as set by the ATF for a rifle, which would make this an SBR. However, Spencer does offer extended butt pads for those who desire a 16-inch barrel. And now we'll be doing a comparison between other bullpup rifles on the market.
Pal, listen to me, it's a double cross. The whole roof of the building's wired.
This is personal.
So, one of the advantages that more traditional bullpups tend to have over the L85 is the forward charging handle, as well as the larger magazine release, which typically would allow you to be able to release the magazine using only one hand. However, those controls are a little wasted on me. I had a bit more trouble charging the charging handle on the AUG than I did on the L85. AR-18 style actions are so buttery smooth. The magazine release on the AUG is still a little awkward for me, even with the larger controls. It's a bit more difficult with smaller hands to get in there and release the magazine. Maybe with more practice I could do it faster, but it's not super intuitive to me. So in that regard, the magazine changes in the AKB23 weren't really any less awkward to me. I definitely prefer the trigger on the AKB23 over the AUG. I found that I didn't really care for the progressive trigger on the AUG. Maybe again, it's a skill issue, but I had trouble getting it to fire in full auto. We haven't yet converted the AKB23 to full auto yet, so I can't really speak on how that feels, but one of the advantages that the AUG does have over the AKB23 is that the full auto selector is up near the trigger. So now we're going to be doing a little bit of shooting with the Springfield Hellion, and we're going to see what our friend Donut has to say about that as well. Today I'm here with my friend Donut.
Hi, thank you for inviting me. Oh, sorry. So I was asked out here today to do some shooting, and I didn't know we were going to be shooting the conversion kit for the BRM-180, the AKB-23. So it's my first time shooting this, and compared to the Springfield Hellion, there's two things that stuck out to me. One is the low weight of this. It is a lot lighter than this, even with the accessories taken off.
I really,
yeah.
That thing was heavy. That was really heavy. Like going from this to that, I was like, oh God.
Yeah, she was.
I have no arm strength.
She was having a tough time shooting, a couple of rounds and having to put this down. Compared to that, is so much lighter. I was able to keep it up the entire time myself. Struggling with this here.
Oh, you struggled with it too?
Yeah, I was having a really hard time keeping this rifle up when we were actually on camera. Also, another thing compared to it was the trigger pull. With the Springfield Hellion, there's almost about half an inch before you feel that wall. With the AKB-23 conversion kit, it's almost instantaneous when you pull that trigger. You can feel that wall and pull back. It's almost, it pretty much is an AR trigger compared to other bullpups like this Hellion. Definitely one of my favorite bullpups because I also have MDRX, but this one definitely takes the cake. But after shooting this, yeah, it's pretty smooth shooting. The trigger's great. It's light.
I was really excited to get this. When I was like a decade ago, I really wanted an L85.
One of the worst rifles ever.
Yes. Okay. So I watched the anime Upote, and my favorite character was L85. So like I like desperately wanted one so bad, but there was zero way to get any in the US. Okay, so my one complaint, which is probably just more of a bullpup in general complaint.
Yes.
I didn't like that it was just throwing gas in my face. I dislike when any gun does that. And I know that's just kind of a bullpup thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, even with the suppressor sitting on this, there is still going to be gas coming back. But, that's mainly running with the suppressor. I think there's a lot more gas coming back there. So if you're not going to run a can on it, you'll probably be right. I've definitely going to throw in my complaint is I'm a left-handed shooter. And obviously, if you're going to be left-handed, this is not going to be the rifle for you. You cannot change it. It's only going to be on the right side for ejection, especially even if you try to put your face on it with how rearward the ejection is, you're still going to get clipped by it.
That is kind of just the sacrifice you're going to have have a proper L85 clone that has the proper features on it.
Yep, and I can't argue with that. I'd rather have the correct clone than make it, a compromise between left and right-handed shooters, so just deal with it, guys.
I felt like the magazine changes were pretty easy. The bolt release felt awkward to me, like having to reach all the way back here for it, but
yeah, I get that. For me, when I was doing it, I did the old-fashioned way with the L85s, is they reach over and just grab the charging handle.
It's just a skill issue.
Yeah.
I have an L85. And so that was the AKB23 L85A2 clone. And I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope it was, if not informative, at least a little entertaining. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. Sayonara.